Y'all, I'm doing it. Doing it, DC. This is something we gotta do every day. Really don't want to do it though. Why is self-care not my forte? Well, because I got a lot of shit going on inside my head. So I don't have time to worry about my looks too, you know? I'm not saying that to be cool. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Like, it really doesn't matter how you look. As long as you're taking relatively decent care of yourself, I think. And by that, I mean, are you alive? I'm sorry if my standards are not the same. I mean, here's the thing. I was telling my manager yesterday about the difference in the brain structure of a schizophrenic versus the brain structure of a non-schizophrenic. And I was talking about the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. And he was like, oh, did a doctor tell you that? And I was like, no. The doctor wouldn't tell me that. You know? Like, even if doctors were, like, well-versed on all these subjects, and you think that they would be. You think that at the very least they want to inform their patients as to what's going on. But they don't find that information to be relevant. The only information they find to be relevant is, are you going to take the pills? Are you going to take your medication? Why would you trust a society that doesn't encourage that society to understand itself and solve its own problems? The fact that you think that a diagnosis is only relevant if it comes from a doctor. I mean, I understand that I'm not advocating for a TikTok diagnosis, okay? I'm advocating for people doing a lot of research and not just going along with something that suits them at that time. I think that the reason why I understand mental problems so well is because I've read a lot about them. Now, in the one sense, it could be this self-fulfilling prophecy. And I do believe that a lot of people that identify in certain ways, the T people, mainly the T's, okay? People that identify in certain ways, it's because they have focused on that. And I mean, I think that most of them, because people are the product of their environment, they're a product of the society they live within. It's like, I would say that, yeah, most of them probably aren't actually experiencing that, but like they think that they are because they want to fit in. And how weird of a thing is it that the popular thing to do is to pretend that you're the other gender? That's just such a strange thing. But I tried to talk about it last night on stage. Didn't really go over well. Also, I realized that 4 minutes is not like an adequate amount of time for me to really explain myself. And I need to stop expecting that to happen. Because, like, that's kind of ridiculous, you know? And you'd only know if you've ever done stand-up. Because you get up there, and sometimes it feels like the time is just dragging on, right? At least that's how it feels when you watch other people's comedy and they're bombing, and it's like just really depressing. But most people, you know, if they have any kind of awareness, they realize, oh, I'm bombing, I should probably get off stage because it's not working out. But I think that that's the wrong attitude. If you want to do comedy, you can't have that attitude just because you're not doing well. You have to keep going. You know? It's like, basically look at it like this. Say you're running a marathon. By the end of it, you know that you're not going to win the race. Are you going to stop? You don't just get off the fucking track and, like, stop running. You finish the damn race, regardless of your place in it. You know? And I think that when I see people that don't do all their time, and they're just like, oh, well, you guys aren't liking this, so I'm just gonna leave. I mean, yeah, is the audience relieved? Of course we are. But I still feel bad. I feel bad for that person, because I'm like, no, I want you to make it. I want you to get better. I want you to believe in yourself, son. Like, oh, I understand, though, why they don't. Because of society. The world that we live in basically encourages people to just march in lockstep with all the other boring ass plebeian sheep. And if that sounds blah 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 blah, it is judgmental. I know it sounds judgmental. I have to brush this side now. You hear those tangles? I know they get worse if you don't brush your hair. That's why I'm like trying to do this rather than just wait till it looks matted. But I don't know, the 3 days after I do stand-up, and this is why I don't do it all the time, because this is what happens to me. The 3 days after I do stand-up are the absolute worst, where I'm just like thinking about the things that I said on stage. And it's really not about like, oh, hurting people's feelings, or like, because I highly doubt that people even have the attention span anymore, unless they're just a straight up narcissist, like obsessive, fuck that bitch, I'm gonna take her down. And I don't think that people are on that level. At least I haven't met any recently. Because the thing with trolls and the thing with bullies is like, they will move on when they realize that you can't be bullied, or that like their criticism of you is completely like ineffective. And like, you can criticize me all day. I mean, I welcome it, because that makes me better at what I do. But if you're just saying the same thing that I've heard over and over again by people that just don't understand a schizo, that's fine. Like, you don't have to understand schizos. But I will say that most of the people that watch my shit are probably on that spectrum, you know? Because the people that relate to me the most usually have ADHD, or whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck they jabbed us with, because that's really what it is. It's just the stronger people will take that and use it to our benefit, rather than curling up in a little ball and whining about it, and then taking our medication as prescribed. I mean, I just feel like everything in your life that challenges you, you should rise to the challenge, rather than just like complaining that you were challenged. You know? It's like, that's what life is. It's just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. And yeah, it sucks. And you can vent. You can bitch about it sometimes, but don't make that like your core personality. I know, I'm a hypocrite because I yell a lot in this car. This is my channel, damn it. It is, though. I mean, when the internet came out, well, actually, this was like long after the internet came out, but like when YouTube came out, it seemed like people were using it for the right reason, you know, to learn stuff, to put themselves out there, express themselves. And people don't really, I'm not going to say they don't do that at all, but it just seems like it's got these other motives that aren't like organic and healthy. It's just more about, you know, competition. It's more about feeling superior to other people. I really don't feel superior to other people, man. I don't. Like, I'm not entitled to Dilly Squad. The stuff that I have, I can't believe I have it. Like, I know that I don't fucking deserve it. But it's like, people would be a lot better if they didn't have any expectations at all. So, like, whenever I go into things, I just assume it's going to be bad. And whenever it's not, I'm pleasantly surprised. That probably also sounds cynical, like really, really cynical. But I don't expect much from our society, y'all. And I think that's why people are so angry, because they did. They thought that society was supposed to be good. They thought that, you know, government was supposed to take care of us, and presidents were supposed to do what they say, and teachers were supposed to teach, you know, reading, writing, and arithmetic, but instead they're teaching white people how to hate themselves for being white. Now, you don't have to tell me that, like, black culture was frowned upon, okay? Like, I know people that had to take their dreads out because they didn't fit dress code and shit like that. So, when you're being told that, like, your culture is a problem, and not, like, the stereotypical culture, but, you know, hair. Like, you're not even allowed to have your hair because it doesn't assimilate. Like, I understand why they make the claims that they do about white supremacy or whatever. I mean, here's what's so funny, though. Whenever white people do this annoying-ass white savior, like, it's up to me to say that Black Lives Matter. It's up to me to go out and protest and ensure that the black community doesn't keep killing each other like they're prone to do, okay? It's up to me to make sure that I right the wrongs of my past. I right the wrongs of my ancestors. I right the wrongs of a totally white supremacist patriarchal society. You know, like, these people should just commit suicide. And it's just sad, like, listening to them makes me really, really, really wish that their SSRI would just kick all the way in. And, like, hopefully their psychiatrists will up their dosage and then they'll be out of here in no time. But, like, they're so mean, dude. You know I don't really mean it. This is my exaggerated self, okay? No, they won't kill themselves now. It's always good people that kill themselves. You know, like, bad people that are really annoying, that make everybody's life a living hell, people that are just so, like, frustrating to be around. Those are the people that stick shit out, you know? Because they don't have awareness, they're zombies. Does that make sense? But anyway, what was I talking about? I brushed my hair, y'all. I brushed my hair. There's some good news. Probably still doesn't look that good, but it's okay. This is the best we're gonna get. I'm not gonna go to a fucking salon and just sit there and have them work on me. And it's like, that's such a weird thing too. You know, salons, and I don't want to be too mean because I know that Lauren's a hairstylist, but, like, I mean, I think it's a good thing, like, because, you know, you see yourself and you're like, okay, I feel a little bit better about myself. But it's like, I'm in the business of trying to establish long-lasting change, you know, something that's going to benefit me in the long run. Not just like, right now I look good. Right now I can feel good about myself, but in a couple hours I'm going to feel like shit again. And I'm probably going to feel worse because I didn't look as good as I did, you know, 3 hours ago. And I think that that's what makes me wise. The fact that I know that everything is just so futile and short-lived and lacks all the meaning that we attempt to give it, okay? I mean, that's why nihilists are like on pills that are prescribed by a nihilist. That's the whole business of nihilism, you know? So, but these people pretend that they're doing the right thing.
And that's the easiest way you can manipulate people, is by convincing them that the wrong thing is the right thing. So, we cover a lot of topics, don't we? I mean, I just can't make my mind up on what to talk about, I guess. Also, my mind's going in like 25 different directions. Forgive me if that's annoying. It annoys me too. I watch these videos and I'm like, can't even imagine like how exasperated y'all are, because it's like, I know that there's something that I really need to get out, but I never get it out because, you know, my brain goes elsewhere. But, you know, maybe that's a good thing, though, because they can't hypnotize my ass.